Hey guys, it's Deanna and
Rosa.
sharing the last brain cell. Today we're gonna talk about some heavy content. So a little content warning here. It's gonna be some very real life conversations.
Yeah. Today's topic has been a lot about um almost like a coming of age
Yeah,
in adulthood.
mm,
And I know that sounds a little weird, but
yeah,
we talk about how our lives differ from our early 20s to our late 20s and how much life changes
yeah. The goods and the bads.
and the
So
expectations that we have set on ourselves
yeah,
and just some other heavy topics
yeah,
regarding, fertility and
some things.
yeah, some things that you guys can definitely join us and listen on
Yeah.
to. But just wanted to give you guys a warning before you continue to listen or watch.
Yes.
But we still had a great time. It was still very, very fun to be
Yes.
here. But we do get a little bit more realistic
And
and
emotional.
emotional and
Mm.
just a very raw take
Raw.
on
Yeah.
life.
But then we finished it off with like a nice little game to
Yeah,
kind of lighten the mood.
yeah.
So also, we got new
We got
mics
some
thanks to
mics.
Rosa.
And
We love the tiny mics. We're very excited
we
about
did some
that.
thinking, and last week's episode didn't feel very podcasty.
Yeah.
It very much felt like two friends just sitting on a couch just recording, which essentially is what it is.
It's
But
pretty much what we did. Yeah.
the audio quality wasn't quite up to where we
Yeah.
wanted it to be. The video quality wasn't where we wanted it to be. But
Yeah.
this is all trial and error. This is all going to be a learning experience, and you guys are honestly just joining us for that journey
Learning.
from literally start to beginning. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that things will start to upgrade and get better as we learn.
Yes.
Um,
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun little
yeah,
process that you
yeah,
guys can come with us
yeah.
on. But definitely enjoy this week's episode. And if you don't want to watch or listen this one because it is so heavy, totally up to
Join us for
you.
the next one.
We just wanted to give you a little heads up on that one. But I think there's definitely a lot of good insights on there. But
All right. Happy listening.
yes.
Good morning, Deanna.
Good morning, Rosa. How are you doing this morning? You're not a morning
I am
person.
not. It actually took a lot out of me to get out of bed this morning.
She called me this morning. It was 9:30 and was like, I don't feel so good. I'm like, why? What's wrong? She was like, I feel hungover. I said, did you drink last night? She said, no.
And the worst thing is that I went to bed at a pretty decent time.
What is a decent time for you, though?
A decent time for me is probably around midnight.
Midnight, though?
Midnight.
I was fast asleep. Actually,
I
10 or 11, I guess I went to bed. So it wasn't like too far off.
Yeah. Midnight is usually when I start to get ready for bed, or at least start thinking about bed.
No, I'm already in the bed, knocked out.
I think what had happened was, I worked 3 days in a row.
That's fair.
That's 3 12-hour shifts back to back to back.
Mm.
And when you're someone who likes to put off sleep, that's probably what.
Your body was probably like, we gotta go to bed.
Yeah, yeah. So
Makes sense.
I'm sure it's no wonder that I didn't feel so great this morning.
So other than work, how was your week?
Pretty uneventful, I will say.
Oh,
But
that's good.
it's been good. It's been relaxing, a little bit quiet.
Good.
We had some friends over this weekend for
Oh
Memorial Day
yeah.
weekend. But I'm honestly very glad that it's over. I loved having them over, but it was a lot.
Peopled out.
I was very peopled out. My social battery was just at like -2%.
Oh
Just like
no.
dead.
Gotta recharge.
But yeah, so we have had the time to recharge. We've worked. We are here.
I got something to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I was cleaning out the fish tank the other day, and I went to go lift. My fish tank is covered because of Simon, so he doesn't eat the fish and the snails. So I went to go lift it up, and I flipped it over, and there was a bundle of snail eggs.
Oh my god.
There's about 150 snail eggs. Yeah.
remember that one time when you called me and you were like, "Hey, the snails are on top of each other," and I'm praying
They're not having
that
sex.
they're not having sex and there's
Yeah.
gonna be a million snail eggs.
No, there's I would say roughly 150. It does say I did a lot of research and it said that they could lay up to 500. So I guess I got lucky, but they also said that they will lay eggs every couple of weeks for about 4 to 5 months.
So what are you supposed to do
I don't
when you
know.
don't want to have that many snails?
I don't know because it also said the female snail can hold sperm for 145 days.
Oh my gosh.
So even if I separate them at this point, she's got the sperm. So it's in a little container in the top right corner.
Maybe people can adopt
Oh my
the
gosh. Yes.
snails.
If you want a snail, you don't even have to pay. I will pay you to take the snails. Right now, they're still eggs. I have moved them to a separate container. And
I
it
was wondering what
says,
that container in your
yes,
fish tank
that
was,
would be the eggs.
and I kind of assumed there would be a story behind that.
Yeah. It says it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the eggs to hatch, so I will keep you guys updated. And if they are in fact fertile and do in fact hatch,
What are the
please.
chances that they will?
I don't know. It does say that it's possible that they're not fertile. But
Okay.
it does also say that only about 20 to 40 of them actually make it to hatching. But that's still a lot of snails that I don't want. So,
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that you would
be
end
trying
up
to
with,
hatch snail
yeah?
eggs? You know, no. That was never in my plan.
Were you like a big planner?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, no. I like wanted 3 kids. I thought I'd be married by now. I already have my wedding planned. I just need the ring at this point.
Oh, hint,
Um,
hint, hint,
no. uh,
hint.
and then big house with a big pantry.
Yeah.
Lots of dogs. Horse. I thought I'd have a horse by now.
A horse? Of all things,
Yeah,
a horse?
I used to barrel race. I love horses.
I
I was
remember when
at.
you were telling me that story about barrel racing, and I was like, what the heck is that?
I had to explain to her what barrel racing was. Yeah, I
I
was
never,
that weird horse girl growing up for sure that knew everything about horses.
I think based on where I grew up, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
We don't really have people who have horses in this
yeah.
area because I grew up in the suburbs.
I did not. What about you? Did you ever imagine you'd be here?
Honestly, I feel like I never really set myself to a high standard. I don't know. I think I had envisioned that by now at 28.
I think you're 27.
I'm 28.
Are you 28?
Yes, I'm 28. At 28, that I would be married, have had kids, had a dog, big house.
Hmm. You don't even want a dog
I did.
anymore.
I grew up with dogs though. So like
Yeah.
that's all I've ever known. But here I am. I'm childless by choice.
With an old cat
With a senior
by
cat
choice.
by choice. And the house we're working towards that. But
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be a nurse.
Hmm.
I don't know what I thought I was gonna be. I think I thought I would be like a teacher.
I could see you as a teacher though.
Yeah. But I think as far as like my parents, I think my parents just thought that I would be like a trophy wife.
That's hilarious. I don't know about trophy wife, but stay at home wife for you for sure.
Yeah. Stay at home. But there are weeks where I don't there are times when I don't work for like 5 days in a row,
Yeah.
and 5 days is just a little bit too long
I
to
think
do nothing,
I
quote
think
unquote.
3 is a good stretch
Yeah.
off.
And that's not to say that I get nothing done in those 5 days, but we take care of our chores, we go grocery shopping and clean the house and
Yeah.
do our homely duties,
adult things.
adult things.
Growing up, I always wanted to be a vet.
Being a vet.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that was my like big thing. And it was until I was in high school. And then I lost 3 dogs in 3 years.
Oh no.
I know, for various reasons. One of them was old, one of them was way too aggressive, and then the other
Yeah.
one died from like kidney issues. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I can't, And I also swore to myself I would never be in the medical field because where I grew up, everyone wanted to be a nurse, all the females, anyways. And it was like that type of girl, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to do that, which I'm still not a nurse, but like here I am in the medical field where I didn't want to be
Where we met.
originally. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we never would have met. That's sad. That's another thing that, like, do you ever think about choices you've made and how different life would be if you didn't make that choice or made something different?
All the time.
Like, if I wouldn't have joined the Navy, I would never have moved to Virginia. I never would have met you or Ben, never would have gotten Kilo or Simon.
Yeah. All the
Like,
choices that we've made to this day have led us to what we have.
that's why I say I have no regrets. Even in like the like bad things that happened in my life or like stupid decisions I've made, they all made it to where we are today.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that even those dumb mistakes and stuff, like I've made it to this point. Even like for those of you that don't know, I have PTSD. So I went through a lot of stuff in the Navy. And as hard as it was, I'm almost glad that all of that happened to me because I am who I am today. I have matured. I know a lot more about myself because I've been in therapy for, holy crap, 6, 7 years, give or take.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, 5 because I got out in 2018.
Okay.
So I would say 5 years. And like the amount of stuff that I've learned about myself since then is like insane that I never would have learned.
Yeah. Every step that you take in life, whether you deem it as a good one or a bad one, a stupid mistake, whatever it is, we learn from it. Every choice, whether you have decided that it is a good decision or a bad decision, is something that we'll always learn from. Even good decisions we learn from, even bad decisions we learn from. Every choice that you have made in your life has led you to where you are now, and the experiences that you've experienced, and whether that can be helpful to you or to somebody else.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people say like I regret meeting you. I wish I never met you, or to certain people in their lives. Well, me and one of my other best friends, Taylor, talk about like every person that we meet teaches us something, or like we get something out of it. Like so this tattoo right here, "Oh, the places you'll go." I got that with one of my now ex best friends. And people ask me all the time, "Do you regret getting that tattoo?" And I'm like, no, because at the time that I got the tattoo, things were great. You know what I mean? Like, we did everything together. Like, it sucks that we had a falling out, but like, I don't regret being her friend. You know what I mean? And I don't like this gives me good memories.
Right.
I
think sometimes people can let the bad memories supersede everything good that came out of any relationship or experience.
Yeah. I do think, though, there's a fine line between thinking about the good versus the bad and vice versa, because, you've got those people that try to see the good in everybody, but they forget to also notice the bad things. Like, when people are like, oh, like, I want to go back to my ex because that's all they're thinking about is the good things.
Yeah.
But they forgot that, oh, they're a piece of shit. Maybe I shouldn't go back.
There was a solid reason why
maybe
we left
I
that
shouldn't
situation.
go back. Yeah.
Definitely relatable.
What would you say to your 20-year-old self?
At 20 years old, if I were to tell my 20-year-old self that everything is just going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think at 20 it was just such a weird time. Like, we are still trying to figure out who we are as individuals. We are in college at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're meeting people that we're probably never going to speak to ever again, and that's
Ever.
okay.
Mm.
You know, there's we're full of all this anxiety of, okay, well, what is the future going to hold? What am I going to do when I grow up? How am I going to support myself?
Yeah.
You know,
When I was 20, it was my second year of college, I think it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
And at this point, I had quit soccer, which soccer was my entire life for 20 years. And so I quit soccer. That was a whole ordeal. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And like a couple months later, I actually dropped out of college. So like I was like lost. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
little 20-year-old me didn't know what to do, where to go, who to talk to, like nothing. So I think I would say like first off, just enjoy your 20s. Don't try to figure out your life. I think the US especially is so heavy on high schoolers. Like you have to know what you're going to do with your life. You have to go to college for 4 years, get the degree that you think you're going to use for the rest of your life. You know, I think it's totally unfair that at 18 you're supposed to have your life figured out.
Yeah,
Or at
you're a
least they tell
child.
you.
Like, at
Yeah.
18, you are still a child.
I mean, you might legally be an adult, but I still feel like a child sometimes. And
Yeah,
I'm
sometimes
28.
I have to tell myself, Rosa, you're 28 years old.
You're
You
an
are the adult.
adult. Yeah. When they leave me with children, I'm the oldest, okay, on my dad's side. So I have two stepsisters, a stepbrother, and three cousins that like we usually all together. And there was one time when the adults left and they're like, all right, Deanna, you're in charge because you're the oldest. I said, I'm sorry. Hmm? You want me to be in charge of six other people? That's insane.
You're like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
No.
But I think like I would just tell myself, like, don't try to figure things out. You know, I mean, like, yeah, learn, obviously, but don't like stress yourself out
Yeah.
over focusing on other people too.
That was a big one for me to learn, and I'm still learning that
Hmm.
one. I think it's only natural to compare yourself
Yeah.
to your peers and the people around you, especially if you believe that they are more successful than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's natural to feel curious
Mm-hmm.
and even a little jealous,
Yeah. Envious for sure.
envious. Yeah, I think that's a good word. Um,
Yeah. I like Facebook is notorious for it.
I really have to limit my social media intake because even though I know majority of it is fabricated and fake and
Yeah.
edited.
You don't see the bad parts of what they did to get there.
Hmm. Hmm.
But like, I think the hardest part is not the strangers, it's the people that like say I went to high school with and comparing like I've got some people on my Facebook that are married on second, third child, you know what I mean? Like got a house and all these things. And like you said, like you don't know what else goes on in their life, but like the outside, it's like I'm in an apartment, which I had a house, sold it to move to an apartment, you know, and like I've been with Ben for 4 years, which love him to absolute death, but like it's kind of like I feel like we should be further in life.
Yeah, I think it's natural to feel that way
Yeah.
because we've set ourselves to a certain standard, or we've envisioned our lives to be a certain way by a
Hmm.
certain point. And when you have peers on Facebook, social media, they've already got this big, glamorous
Hmm.
house, and they've already got kids, and this glamorous big job, and they're
Yeah.
financially able to support all of that.
Yeah.
But I know that that doesn't just come easy.
Yeah, and you also like I feel like people what's the word? They like exaggerate things, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I know one of my friends, I'm not going to say it, but say her name, but on Facebook, she has a kid now, but her baby's less than a year old, but I know that she has gone through a lot to get that baby.
Mm-hmm.
She has had a previous miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
So like I know that there are even though like all of these people seem so successful and have all of these things, most of them had to struggle and work to get towards those. And I think that's what we forget to think about
Yeah.
sometimes.
It just sort of sucks that we're constantly on a clock, or we put ourselves on a clock
Yes.
to have certain milestones met at a certain time.
I think the biggest like time clock, which we have talked about many, many times, but is the biological clock for a female having kids. And I know that like it's a little bit different for you than it is for me because you don't really care. You don't really want one. But I always envisioned this big family, 3 kids, everyone loving each other, which I know like obviously there's gonna be lots of fighting and hardships and everything else, but it's hard being 28 female with no kids who wants kids that it's like, am I running out of time? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you just got everyone that's like, you have plenty of time, da da da, whatever.
It's like, but do we really though?
Right. And like with us working in the medical field, at 30, you become geriatric. Bariatric?
Geriatric.
Geriatric. Bariatric is
Yes.
right. You become geriatric pregnancy after that. Like once you turn 30, right? Or is it
I
35?
think it's 35. It becomes a geriatric pregnancy.
But it's still like I got 7 years, and I
Yeah.
want 3 kids, and I don't want them back to back to back, like a
Yeah.
year after another,
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels, it's kind of rough to talk about sometimes, but it's like I do try to remind myself that things don't always go to plan,
Yeah.
and I still have a lot to be thankful for.
And I'm sure there's a lot that you still want to experience before you want
I'd be okay having a baby right now.
to.
All that other stuff can wait. But because like marriage, like everyone always thinks they're gonna get married before they have kids, because that's what the world tells you have to do. And but at this point, like you can get married at any time, at any age. There's no time limit on that, as long as you're still alive. I mean, there's people that marry objects.
Yeah.
Like I can get married when I'm 99. Now, granted, I don't listen to that then. But like the baby is kind of the biggest time clock for me, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something that I struggle with personally. So
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing okay on my clock
yeah.
here. I don't really care for kids too much. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
Mhm.
if that were to happen to someone, if fertility becomes an issue, I think if that's going to happen to anyone, it should be me, because
That's
I don't
sad.
care quite as
You're gonna make me cry, Rosa.
much. But other than that, I mean, I think I have a lot to be thankful for. Don't cry. You don't
I'm
need to
sorry.
cry.
It's just really emotional because that's something that like in the world that I don't understand is like for me and you, for example, it's like I want kids so bad, so bad, and I had a miscarriage back in August, and it's like why the people that want something so bad, why can't they have it? And then you've got people like you that like don't care. But I guarantee you, if you and Nick right now tried having a baby, you'd get pregnant today, because that's just how the world works. And it's so like, it's just so unfair. I just don't understand it. And then you've got fucking crackheads over here that have like 8 kids. Like, why do they deserve to have babies?
Yeah. And I think the same goes for health too. I mean, you have people who do every single thing right. They eat healthy, they work out, they live this very healthy lifestyle, and then they're just riddled with cancer.
Yeah. And then you've got people that has smoked since they were 8.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're healthy as a horse. It's so frustrating. Like when I was going through all of the kidney stones stuff,
Yeah.
and my doctor told me that I need to stop like taking protein supplements and eating so much protein. And it's like I had like a complete breakdown about it because I was like, you learn how to live and how to be healthy a certain way for your whole life, and everybody's telling you this. But then now all of a sudden you're telling me that I can't I shouldn't do that because I get kidney stones from protein.
Yeah.
It's like I felt like lost and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do because it's like, you've got all these fad diets and you've got people that tell you it works and then you've got people that tell you it doesn't, and it's like, how do you know what works, what doesn't, and it honestly comes down to like the individual person, what works for you, but then how do you find out what works for you? And then
you get a kidney stone and then you find out.
Well, I would not suggest getting a kidney stone for anybody. That was awful. I still have one that's dormant in my kidney right now, so that's a time bomb waiting to happen. But it's like, and then you've got doctors that are like, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that, you should do this, you should do that. But like, mostly like the older generation, I guess, because they're like set in their ways. But
yeah. And I feel like in healthcare now, and like providers now, we pretty much just say live as healthy as you can, and what works works, and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like before it was you have to follow these strict rules to be healthy.
Yeah. Which doesn't work for everybody.
And that isn't always going to work for everyone.
Yeah. That is definitely something else I would tell my 20-year-old self is like, you learn a lot. Like it gets better. I know that's like so cliche to say, but like when it comes to health, it's like I know so much more about my body now just from trial and error. So we've kind of had some heavy conversations. So we're actually going to play a little game. It's called the best friend game. On a scale from 1 to 5, how much do I care about my social media image? 5 being the most.
I'm gonna give you like a 3.
I think that's what I would say about
I
myself.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
What's my phone number?
757. That's about all that I know. This one's not fair because you know this one. Could I stay awake for 24 straight hours?
Absolutely not. What percentage of my time at work do I actually spend working? Use increments of 10.
First off, I think it depends on the day. Because it
You don't work with me anymore, but I know you know.
Yes, it depends on how busy the day is and how many sick people there are.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that when there is work to be done, you do it. So I would say 100% of the time that it's needed.
If I were on a diet, would you encourage me to stick with it?
No. I would support you. However, if you said, fuck this diet, let's go somewhere else, I'd be like, okay. Oh my gosh, will I become an old person yelling at kids to get off my lawn? Yes or no?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I might be.
I think so. I think Ben would. But I'd be like, shut up, let the kids play.
Yeah. Nick for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Nick For sure. He's already that way.
Get off my lawn!
He already, like,
oh no, does he?
Stands in front of the window or the back door with his hands behind his back and just watches outside. Just looks.
Oh, Nick. What you got?
Would I rather eat out, order delivery, or cook at home?
Order out.
Order out, yeah.
Ooh, what's something that I do that annoys you?
Hyperfixation.
Like this podcast?
Yes. I'm telling you, she's had 2 days off, and I kid you not, every spare moment she has asked me questions about the podcast. She has sent me videos.
I hyperfixate and like I'm enjoying doing this.
And you know what? That's what I tell myself. I said, you know what? She's really enjoying this, so let me just let her have this. Let me humor her a little bit.
That's funny.
What do I spend most of my money on?
Daisy, my house is burning down. Which one item do I grab? Not including live things.
Your phone.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Buddy.
Buddy! I keep forgetting about Buddy.
I think it's you.
What Friends character am I?
I think you're a mix of a few. Ross.
I'm a Ross.
You're a Ross. What's my favorite swear word?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
What do you think would be the first thing I would buy if I won the lottery?
I'd say a house.
I could probably say, yeah, a house too.
Ooh, what's an item I always have with me, not counting my phone, wallet, and keys?
AirPods.
That's a good one, but that's not what I was thinking.
What is it?
I would say either hair ties or chapstick.
Ah, hairbands. Yep.
Who's more likely to get arrested, me or you?
You. What is my biggest pet peeve?
Do you know?
No.
Not cleaning up after yourself? Not you personally, but like other people?
Yeah. What percent do I usually tip?
I'd say 25.
Yeah.
Ooh, how many bones have I broken?
Enough.
Yeah, that's definitely a good answer. Let's see, I've broken my nose, my wrist, a few toes. I don't know how many.
You probably broke it recently too, and
Yeah,
we just sort of left it.
left it. I mean, there's nothing you can do for a broken toe.
Yeah.
But casts, I've only had one cast.
What Harry Potter character am I?
Hermione.
Hermione?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Who would you think?
I don't know. I don't really know Harry Potter that well.
This girl. I have introduced Harry Potter to her, and we started watching all of the movies. We need to get back on that. I don't even remember.
I think we're on the 5th movie.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we just finished the 4th one. I think we need to go into the 5th one.
We need to do that again. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us on The Last Brain Cell. We talked about a lot of heavy things today. Ended it off with a nice little fun game. But like, comment, follow, share. There is now the link tree should be completely updated on where you can watch and listen. So make sure you go do that. Watch and listen wherever you can and want to. And let us know if you have any other ideas. We would love to hear them.
Yeah, we really enjoyed being your co-hosts for The Last Brain Cell, and we'll see you next week.